For one of my master's degrees, I did a 6-month stint of vegetarianism. I repeated that years later for a full year because I wanted to see, at the time, another wave of vegetarianism was kind of hitting the market, and I wanted to test more of the practical nature of that. So I'll give you my experience and kind of put that against what I think normal physiology would support. In my first master's degree, I was a bodybuilder. And I was young and pretentious and thought I knew, more than all my professors and all that. So going through a nutrition program where most professors are talking about, kind of the RDA and, this is the way things are. And here I'm a bodybuilder reading magazines that say you should eat 300 grams of protein a day until your kidneys are exploding and all of that. So I wanted to kind of prove that eating the RDA level of protein would be ridiculous. It would you're going to lose all of your muscle. So I was at the IU Med School and in the National Institute for Fitness and Sport. I was hydrostatically weighed by people and so forth at the beginning and after for 6 months. And I was a very specific diet. I had 75 grams of protein a day. And it was all vegetarian, but all vegan. So not even lacto-ovo. I was not using protein powder, eggs, or anything. It was all that. And I was set. I was going to prove once and for all, I was going to change the entire world of academic nutrition that we have to consume a lot more protein. And I ended up losing 15 pounds during that 6-month time frame. And so you would think, okay, now a bodybuilder who's training hard, doing cardio, dieting to lose 15 pounds, with protein that low, no animal products, probably almost all of that 15 pounds was going to be muscle. That was my contention, and 0 of it was muscle. So basically, I proved that all of science and my professors were right, and I was wrong, and the entire bodybuilding culture was wrong. But that was 6 months. Since that point, most science agencies, at least 20 of them, have come together. They even had this huge protein summit in Washington, D.C. a few years ago. And based on a lot of compiled research, they moved the RDA level of protein. For my body weight at that time, the RDA would have been about 50 to 60 grams of protein. So 75 was just a little bit over that. So they now all agree that about twice the RDA is better for health. Not just, here's the amount of protein for you not to die, but what would be healthy. So for somebody my size now, you would be looking at about 120 or so, 130 grams of protein to be optimal. So I decided just a few years ago, I'm going to redo this for a full year. And I had all my blood work done. And I especially wanted to see if just being casual about it, not necessarily tracking to the gram and all that stuff, can somebody live a healthy, normal life and enjoy that? So again, it was very liberating. I can go to Subway and just get a veggie sub. I'm just mowing on this foot-long thing of, bread and veggies, and I don't have to worry about protein. And, again, anybody who does this, a bunch of my clients did this because they knew I was doing it and they were excited. And everybody instantly feels better. The first couple weeks, like, oh my gosh, I feel better, I feel lighter, I'm losing weight, I just feel cleaner, better, all these things. I got to about the 9th or the 10th month, 11th month, and I just start feeling kind of softer and I'm losing strength. I just wasn't feeling well. I think I noticed drops in libido, things like that, but I just wasn't sure. I would just, because, a good scientist almost tries to talk themselves out of their own biases, right? So I'm always, if I'm looking for something like, is this going to be this or this, has to be overwhelming to me to say that that's a factor. So I finally get to the end of a year, and I'm like, okay, I don't know how this is going. I don't know if this is really livable. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I have seasonal affect disorder or something else, but we'll get some blood work and we'll see. I thought after losing a little bit of weight that year and just having no protein, I would at least have lower levels of cholesterol, things like that. there was no change in virtually anything. I mean, some of my health factors were just off by 1. Like if my blood sugar was like 72, now it was 71. Or my LDL, if it was, 58, now it's 57. I mean, it was just, they were all a little better or a little worse by that small of margins. So I decided, I don't know, I'm not feeling that well. I've put in my year. I don't know if I want to live like this, because some of it was even just social conscious reasons. I understand that, eating animals is a higher cost to our planet and that kind of thing. And so I just thought, if this is a way to eat that's going to be better, I'm going to try it. So I decided after that year, I'm going to have a steak. And I mean, like, as I'm just chewing that first bite, I just feel like life coming back into my body. And talk about strength and energy coming back. And I'm just going to tell you that you can't outdo 5 to 7 million years of evolution. The intestinal tracts we have, the teeth we have, the fact that we have thrived as Homo sapiens when we were kind of a mid-pack species to destroy every other hominid group on the planet and rise to the top of the food chain. I've studied, I took a class on evolutionary biology just last semester at Harvard, and I can tell you that just because you want to be socially conscious doesn't change your biology. And so, but again, just like going through some changes of intermittent fasting, you learn some really cool things. Like again, I learned, okay, I don't need to eat that much animal protein. I don't have to eat chicken or turkey 4 times a day to be healthy. I still didn't lose, any lean body mass. I just learned, again, that, you need small amounts of these things, and maybe even being a lacto-ovo vegetarian, so you can get some animal products that are less harmful to other animals, better for the planet, all that. So I am a fan of vegetarians because they are going to be better for my planet, but I'm not going to be one because we as a species need some animal protein. At least we live better that way. So again, I'm very pro responsibility in that area. I think there are certainly, most people who try a vegetarian diet, you're naturally just going to eat less saturated fat, less processed food, because you're making health decisions. I don't know many people who say, I'm going to be a vegan, therefore I'm going to eat Twinkies for every meal. Because there are no, usually you're doing it because you're making some better health decisions. So I'm all for people trying that. I just think after a certain amount of time, you're going to see that some animal protein is going to be better for you.